Squid and Octo kids! Welcome to It's a Splat Theory. I'm your host, Kat, and today we're talking about why Inklings and Octolings look the way they do. And even more than that, why the other sea creatures don't look as human. So, let's super jump right into it. Let's start with the traits that all sea creatures seem to inherit. Well, all of them are able to stand up straight, and that's pretty much all the similarities between all of them. I would say that they all have arms and legs of some kind, but that's not entirely correct, since we have salmonids and those fish on the train who, instead of arms like everyone else, they have fins. And for salmonids at least, they don't have legs. Next, let's take a look at some of the traits that are more unique to Inklings and Octolings. First off, their hair. Yes, there are some other sea creatures that have hair, but in my opinion, the cephalopods are the ones that feel the most unnatural to me. Like with the sea urchins, the way their hair is done, it feels quite natural. Or the same with the sea anemones. But the Inklings feel the most off with what they are. Or we could look at the hands and feet, which is another thing in common with the cephalopods, sea anemones, and sea urchins. You see, with the fish, they seem to keep their fins. And with the crustaceans, they keep their original style of arms, or maxillipeds. I'm sorry that I cannot pronounce that. And the last thing I want to draw attention to is the skin tones. The only other species that has real human skin tones, besides the cephalopods, are sea anemones, and we've only seen 2 of them. One of the reasons this could be is that the color palettes for squids and octopi are generally orange or red, something with a bit of brown. But I don't think that's it. I mean, the Inklings and Octolings we play all have human skin tones, and only human skin tones. There are just very few species in Splatoon that look as human as Inklings and Octolings. And even still, I think that Inklings and Octolings edge them out, even just by a bit. But the real question is why? What makes these cephalopods more special than the other sea creatures? Well, I have 2 theories on the reason for it. The first has to do with how octopi and squids, in their normal state, are able to get into really tight spaces and mimic other creatures by moving their bodies in certain ways, using their tentacles to make themselves seem the shape of whatever they're mimicking, and changing their color. It is my thought that, whether they know it or not, they are mimicking humans, and they're more capable of it because of how their bodies work and how they used them when they were in the ocean. Or there's my second theory on this, but for this one, we need to go back a little bit to Alterna before the rocket. You see, one scientist in Alterna discovered a way to make crystals from the bodily fluids of squids, and these crystals absorbed the feelings of all the humans in Alterna, and they lined the walls of Alterna with those crystals. Then, when the scientists of Alterna tried to test a rocket to get out of Alterna, it overloaded the crystals, and everything collapsed. And the rock of the walls and the crystals plunged into the waters. And after a long time, the crystals absorbed into the skin of the sea creatures, and they started to feel what the humans had felt, since the crystals still held those feelings. It is possible that one of the reasons that cephalopods seem more human is because their reaction was amplified, since the crystals were made using squids. It is already a part of them, and it could be that octopi are closely related enough to squids to have the same impact. That's all for today. Comment your own theories below. If you enjoyed the video, super jump over to that like button, splat the subscribe, and ring the notification bell. And as always, stay fresh, stay off the hook, stay cool, and catch you later, Squid and Octo kids!